Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really fun video for you guys. It's something that you guys have been requesting a lot. I mentioned it 2 months ago on Snapchat. Oh my god, had an overwhelming, that's not a word. Overwhelming amount of response from you guys to do a relationship Q&A / advice. So first and foremost, I needed to be emotionally stable. I was like, I need to get my stuff together before I can give you advice. You feel me? Now look, I'm not a professional at this. I'm not majoring in relationships, you know? I'm a communications major, so I'm good at talking, but I don't know everything about relationships. But what I can give you is personal experience. Now, in my opinion, personal experience is pretty important when it comes to relationships. It's one thing when you read about heartbreak, but it's another thing when you can feel the heartbreak. You feel me? So that's all I can give you today is personal experience, advice, whatever it may be. This is my opinion. Everybody is gonna have a different opinion. I'm sure when you're going through something, you ask everybody in your life, and everybody has a different opinion. So please do not fight with me or leave a comment saying I'm wrong or I'm right or whatever it may be. You're right too, I'm right too, we're all right. We have all gone through different relationships, we've all gone through different things that have made us who we are and made us think the way that we do. There were a lot of questions that were sent in, and unfortunately I can't answer all of them or else we will be here until my boobs are saggy and I got gray hair. You heard me? So let's get started because I do have questions that I want to answer, and maybe we'll do like a part 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, so on if you guys like it. So Janelle, just let me know if you like it. How do you stop feeling the need for a relationship? How do you stop thinking that you need a relationship to be happy? I know these things, but man, sometimes it's hard because I sometimes think these things and become really self-conscious as to why I don't have a boyfriend. Although that I know I don't need one, and then I blame it on how I look, etc. This is from a follower named Kilana. Kilana? That's a pretty name. Okay, girl. First and foremost, let's talk about you. There is nothing wrong with you, okay? So you should never blame yourself for anything in this world. You need to own you. You are who you are. You need to be I can't curse on YouTube, a muffin plucking bad boss. Ugh, that would have sounded better if I could curse on YouTube. But you know what I'm saying. You need to be able to know who you are. Now here's the thing about relationships. I always say this to all of my friends. I have a very close friend and she goes through the same thing that you go through. So basically the question that you just asked, I hear from my friends a lot. I have a very good friend and she feels the same way that you do too. So one, you're not alone in this world. So let's get out of the way. Because I feel like sometimes we feel like we're alone and we feel like we're the only one going through these problems, but we're really not. There's so many other people that go through this problem. It's just no one is vocal about it, you know? You need to be able to love yourself and stand alone before you can love somebody else and stand next to somebody else. A relationship is a team. So when one teammate is not quite ready and the other is, there's gonna be some type of off balance. That is what a relationship is in my opinion. We are teammates, we are a team, we work together. You gotta be able to love yourself. You need to take this time to find out who you are, discover things that you're good at, find your career, find your passion, find something that makes your heart happy, something you're passionate about. Take this time wherever you are in life to discover yourself and be confident. You need to be able to stand alone in this world before you can stand with somebody else, before you can conquer this world and build your empire with your boyfriend or your fiance or your husband or whatever it may be. Do you feel what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it. Another thing that I want to talk about is you have to trust your own journey. Just because homegirl 1 has a boyfriend, homegirl 2, whatever, has a girlfriend or a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be, doesn't mean that you need one too. Just because, you know, your best friend of 10 years is married and the other is getting engaged doesn't mean you need to get married and engaged. You need to trust the timing of your life. We all have different journeys, and just because someone's journey is a little bit more faster paced than yours doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. So don't look at this in a negative way. Look at it in a positive way, you know? You have this chance to be single, to live life, to travel, to indulge your mind and soul and heart into something. And that's, you know, the reason I'm saying that is because this is what I did. I took 2 years off. I took a year off college and 2 years to myself to build this Instagram, this YouTube, and I can sit here and influence these beautiful souls around the world, and I get to do what I love. That's what you need to do. You need to embark on the journey to find yourself. And along the way, who knows? You're gonna find somebody who stares at you like you are their whole world, and you just never know. So I think that you shouldn't look at this in a negative way, but you should look at it in a very positive way. Train your mind to see the positive in the situation, that you need to set out and self-discover yourself. Fall in love with yourself, date your career. And when you're ready, and when the right person comes along, they will come along. Next question is, what are some tips you have when it comes to making a relationship last? Much love, Jennifer. Love you too, Jennifer. First and foremost, there's no formula. I want to make sure that everybody knows that. There's no formula on how to be successful. There's no formula on how to build a business. So there's no formula on a relationship. However, there are things that you can do together as a team. Like I mentioned, the last answer is dating is a team. It's teamwork. At the end of the day, that's your partner for the rest of your life. Maybe not for the rest of your life, but that is your partner, and you have to work together towards the end goal. And if the end goal is for you to last long, you know, there are a few things that maybe you should keep in mind. The number one thing that I always think that is very, very important in a relationship, in my opinion, is communication. Communication is, to me, one of the most important things, because if you don't communicate, how is your partner supposed to know how you feel? If you don't tell them what you like, what you don't like, now in a kind way, not like in a bossy way, but how are they gonna know how you feel? I think one of the things that we females have a problem with is we think that the other species is so intelligent that they can read our minds and tell us exactly how we feel, when really they're just human. I mean, sometimes guys can be really dumb. I'm sorry, but sometimes you guys, if you're watching this, sometimes you can be a little blah. But I think that's the one thing that is very important in a relationship, is communication. Being able to talk to each other, being able to tell your girlfriend or boyfriend that, hey, you know, this is what's on my mind, and this is, you know, and you responding in a way of, hey, this is how we can fix it, or let's work together to figure out what we can do. So one is communication, two is trust. You have to be able to trust someone. I have been in so many relationships where the trust is gone, and when the trust is gone, it's like, you think that the relationship is okay, but it's not. There's always going to be something in the back of your head and just weight on your shoulders. If trust is not there, the relationship, in my opinion, is not going to work. Communication, trust is so, so, so important. There are a bunch of other things that I can name out, but those are the top two things that are so important to me, is communication and trust. And, you know, along with trust is honesty. I feel like we all know what it takes to be in a relationship. It's whether we are willing to do it or not. Whether we are willing to think that this relationship is worth it. Because when a relationship is worth it, you will do whatever it takes to make sure that it lasts. So, you know, take one step at a time. The longer you date someone, you're always going to learn more and more and more about them. So compromise, meet halfway. To me, a relationship makes 100%. Some days he's going to give you 70, and some days you're not going to give him 50%. You might give him 20, but as long as at the end of the day, it ends up at 100%, that's what matters. And in my opinion, I think that's how a relationship is going to last, when you don't give up on each other no matter how hard it gets. Jazzy Joy asks, what is your most romantic date you've ever had so far? Well, a guy that I was seeing made me dinner, and it was the first time a guy has ever made me dinner, so it was pretty like, whoa, he's making me dinner. And we just sat there and we just talked, and it was the thought that really counted for me, that we didn't have to go out and spend money on all of this stuff. He didn't have to take me out and all of this. It was just, we enjoyed each other's comfort and each other's company, just sitting there eating and talking and just like looking at each other and being each other's company. I think that is the most romantic thing that's ever happened to me, and I will forever remember that. Crystal asks, my fiance of 3 years recently walked out on me after he decided we had different life goals and it wasn't going to work out. I've already cried my heart out, but it still aches and I hate that I can't get him off my mind. How do you get over a heartbreak so bad that even when you convinced yourself it's for the best and you'll be okay, there's still a part of you longing for him to come back? Well, Crystal, that is heartbreaking, and I am so sorry that you have to go through that, but I can tell you one thing is it's gonna make you stronger. There is nothing wrong with your heart having a special place in your heart for him. That is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with that, and I want you to be able to remember that there is nothing wrong with the fact that your heart is always going to want him. You're always going to make time for him, and you're always going to think of scenarios if one day he comes back, or you're going to still be able to imagine your future with him. You can't stop the heart from wanting what it wants. Sometimes your mind tries to, but you really can't, and I've learned that. I definitely have. But the one thing I've also learned is being able to move forward and kind of let go. Maybe you'll never get over them, and maybe this will scar you for the rest of your life, and maybe this will scare you to be in a relationship with another guy in a few months or a few years or whatever it may be. But I think that, like I said, a relationship is a two-way street. It can't be a one-way street. And the fact that you said fiance, I mean, that's someone you spend the rest of your life with, and if the person can't see that with you, then you have to accept it and walk away. Sometimes not everyone you lose is a loss. Sometimes things are a blessing in disguise, and you have to take it one day at a time. You know, sometimes heartbreak to me are like scars. They're like scars. It's like when you fall at recess and your mom tells you, hey, don't touch it, it's gonna heal on its own. And that's what it is to me. That's what heartbreak is. You have to let time heal everything. And I think in your circumstance, that might be the best thing to do is let time heal. You know, time is going to heal everything. It may not, heal the heartbreak, and it may not attach all of the pieces of your heart together, but one day you're gonna look back and it's gonna make you stronger, and maybe you'll see this as a blessing. But I think the best thing for you right now is to keep yourself busy, and there's nothing you can do. Cherish the memories. The memories will never change even when the person does. He seems like he needs time on his own, and maybe it's time that you indulge in something on your own. Do something that you've always wanted to do with your life. Go on a journey, travel, go to a place you've never been. As much as he needs time to himself, so do you. But I think the most important thing in this circumstance is just keep moving forward and stay positive. And I wish you the best. The next question is from Tarai or Taru. Any thoughts about long distance relationship? How to move on from a breakup? And lastly, how you know it's time to move on from a relationship? Okay, those were 3 questions. I'm going to answer the long distance one because the other 2 you can kind of get a gif of how I feel about things. Long distance relationship, I've done it before. I used to date a guy that lived back home where I grew up, and then he went off to the military, so we did long distance for a while. Distance is not a problem in my opinion. I believe that love knows no distance when someone means so much. Distance does not matter. You can live on Mars, but if your heart wants to be with that person, it wants to be with that person. One thing I will tell you about humans is if we want something, we will do whatever it takes to get it. Is that true or what? Let's be honest. If we want something, we will do whatever it takes to get it. So if we want to be with someone, we want to be with someone. We are focused on them. That is who we want to be with, and our heart wants to be there. Whether our mind wants to believe it or not, but it's going to happen. So long distance, I think if it's with the right person and you guys are both willing to give it 150%, then that's all that matters. If there's communication and there's trust and there's a bond and there's definitely effort, that's all that matters. There's nothing wrong with that. I hear a lot of people say long distance relationship doesn't work, but as far as I can see, some of your local relationships aren't doing any better. So in my opinion, go right ahead. There is nothing wrong with that. It is your relationship, not anybody else's. This one is from Melissa. How do you get over being cheated on? Like after dating someone for 3.5 years, how do you do that? I've been cheated on before, and it is not the best feeling in the world, and I would never wish it on anybody. It's very disturbing. It's something that breaks you internally, and it kills your ass. I was gonna say aspect. It kills your perspective on love. It does something to you. But one thing I can tell you is if you can emotionally get over it, it makes you the strongest person in the whole entire world. Like I said before with another question, timing heals everything. When people do the cheating, that's on them. That is their fault. You know, they had a chance to say no and walk away, and they didn't. They made a choice, and you have to believe actions speak louder than words. You don't deserve someone who cheats on you. You don't deserve someone who doesn't make you a priority, and you definitely don't deserve someone that puts you on the list to be a choice. You don't deserve to be treated like a choice. How to get over it? There's no formula how to get over it. You have to be able to feel weak and to break and to be heartbroken, but you also have to accept it and move forward. You cannot stay in one place. Just because a relationship 1 doesn't work out doesn't mean a relationship 2 isn't gonna work out. There is someone out there for you. So my biggest advice is, you know, it happened. Let it go and move on. You don't need to be wasting your time on somebody that didn't think about you while they were doing something they weren't supposed to be doing. The next question is from Adana. What do you do when half of you wants to hate a guy so badly, but you can't seem to come to terms with it? Half of me wants to hate him for leading me on all this time, but half of me wants to go after him one last time. I've dealt with this before, and it's pretty hard because one of the hardest decisions, in my opinion, is deciding whether to let go or try harder. It is so hard because I'm like, do I let go because I know I deserve better, or do I try harder because I freaking think you're the one? Like, I think I'm gonna marry you. And you know, 9 out of 10 times that this has happened to me, I've made the decision to let go, and I've made the right decision. One thing I've learned is when somebody wants to be with you and somebody wants to make the effort, they will. So the fact that he's leading you on, or he has led you on to make you think otherwise, he's playing games. And honey, us women, we don't have time for games. We got shit to do. So I think my best thing for you is don't let me tell you what to do. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. Sometimes I let my friends do what their heart desires because the heart can only take so much, and eventually you need to do things a few times. You need to take him back a few times. You need to chase him a few times until you've reached your limit and you'll give up. That's the thing about me is I don't give up easily on people. I try and I try. If one thing doesn't work, I do another thing. If another thing doesn't work, I do another thing. I hold on for a pretty long time. I may not show it all the time, but I hold on to people a very long time before I reach my limit. If I reach my limit and feel like you no longer care about me or care that I'm doing this, that I'm giving you effort, and you're not doing anything in return, I reach my limit and I cut you off and I move forward. It's not my fault that I cut you off, it's because you handed me the scissors to cut you off. So, you know, at the end of the day, do what your heart says, and hey, sometimes you have to go through a few things to become a little bit stronger. Next question is from Brianna. If there's someone who has constantly done you wrong and left you to dry, then all of a sudden came back saying they miss you, would you go back? Why or why not? I've actually had this happen to me before. Before I started Instagram, something happened, blah, blah, blah. It was pretty bad. And then after, 2 years later, they came back and said, you know, they did whatever, details, whatever. They came back, basically. And one thing I can tell you is time changes people. You know, had he come back 2 years ago, I think I would have been like, yes, I will be with you. You are the love of my life. But I am at such a different place in my life right now. I have grown so much and my mindset is so different that I no longer see that in my future. Yeah, I still treat him with respect, even though he doesn't deserve it, but I still treat him with respect and I still talk to him in a very respectful way, and I'm kind and I'm nice, and he is still a human being at the end of the day. But do I see a future with him? No longer. I don't. I've been in a relationship where I've taken someone back that really didn't deserve it, and I've learned the hard way, and it hurts and it sucks. And I think whether you take someone back or not, it's completely up to you. And if you have true friends, they will understand and still accept you. But you know, sometimes we just have that little bit of hope that they're gonna change, but I've learned that a lot of the times people don't change until they fully lose you for a lifetime. And it sucks saying that, but it's true. This question is from Kelsey. I was wondering what you think of online relationships because that's how I met my boyfriend. Do you think relationships that start online aren't as real as others? I can tell you one thing. A few months ago, I met a guy online and he turned out to be the best thing that's ever happened to me. I don't have anything against online relationships. I think that you definitely, one, should be very careful. I know that I have some young viewers and I definitely want to advise you guys that online relationships, you need to be extra careful. If you are at a very young age, I don't think it's a good idea and I don't suggest it. But if you are over 18 or around 18 or whatever it may be, I'm trusting that you guys are responsible. I don't want this to seem like I'm encouraging you to go on a random chat room and meet a stranger. That is not what this is about. Please do not do that. Please, that is not safe. Online relationships, I've met a ex-boyfriend that I dated for 2 to 3 years on and off on Facebook. He went to a different school district, but we lived in the same county, and that relationship was very good, but that was also one of my worst relationships ever. But if we're just talking relationship-wise, there was nothing wrong with meeting him on Facebook. A few months ago, I started talking to a guy on Facebook, and he turned out to be the best thing that has ever happened to me, and he's turned out to be one of the best guys that I've ever met in my whole entire life. And you know, there's nothing wrong with meeting someone online. Social media is the new thing these days, you know? I know I have a friend who met her husband on Instagram. He liked and commented on her picture, and now they're married with a beautiful son and a successful business, you know? You just never know. But I would advise you to be very careful because there are creepy people on the internet. Wendy asks, what is your advice on learning to trust your partner? He says he isn't, but he deletes texts and is just naturally sneaky. We both came from unfaithful relationships and it's been a challenge with trust. Okay, here's the thing. The last part really got to me with your question is we both came from very unfaithful relationships. You guys have to both realize that you're dating each other. You're not dating your ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends. Your past should be in your past. It should be all the way back there where I can't see it. That's where it should be. This is new. You guys are new teams now. You're dating each other. You need to focus on each other. If he's never given you a reason not to trust him, you need to trust him. If you've never given him a reason not to trust you, he needs to trust you. That's how I feel. But here's the thing with trust is I never give someone 100% of my trust because I've gone through enough in my life to know that everybody has an opportunity to hurt you. It's whether they choose to hurt you or not. It's like handing someone a gun full of bullets and trusting that they won't pull that bullet on you. And sometimes they do. But sometimes you just gotta pick that bullet up and get up and just keep moving forward. That's how it's gonna be. But in your situation, I just, you know, I understand that you guys both came from unfaithful relationships, but that's in the past. Don't let the past ruin your future. Why are you letting your past relationships ruin your current one when your current one could be the best thing in the world? One thing I've learned is learn from your past, but never let your past control your future or your present. look back on it. That's fine to look back on it, but don't live there. Don't stay there. Learn from it, take that, and make this relationship the most amazing, powerful relationship in the world. You guys don't know what you're capable of until you fully give each other that trust. I think another thing that you guys should work on is being able to sit down and communicate. Let him know how you feel about this texting thing or whatever it may be. Don't sit there and be like, hey, I think that you're keeping something from me, but hey, hey babe, hey love, hey boo, whatever you want to call your boyfriend. The reason I feel this way is because blah, 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 blah. I think that sometimes when we communicate with our boyfriends and girlfriends, we say it in the wrong way. It shouldn't be like, you did this, you did that, and you did this wrong, and you did that wrong. It's, hey, this happened, and the reason I feel this way is because blah, 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 blah. I think that's how you should go about this situation. My biggest advice though is learn from your past, but don't let it control you. Okay friends, that is it for this relationship Q&A/advice video. I hope that you guys really like this video. If you are interested in more, please comment down below and let me know. That is the best way that I can see what you guys are interested in. I do read those comments down below and I love hearing from you guys. Yeah, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, all of that good stuff. And I love you so much. Thanks for watching. Bye, lovelies.